the question is, why do you keep eating even though we do want to eat less, but we just keep doing it? Basically, there's two reasons why you eat. One, it's because you need to, or the other one is because you want to. If you need to, it's that your body is hungry. Obviously, you got to eat. But the reality is that when you eat, until you get to the point where you're about half full, that's anything beyond that is actually just overeating. It's more than you need. I mean, these days, food is plentiful. It's always available. It's better to always be about half full. If you ever feel full, you feel stuffed, you've probably eaten too much. And it doesn't matter. You can recover from that. You can eat less later. That's fine. But just realistically, you don't ever really need to be more than half full. You just need to be satiated, satisfied, that your stomach is full. You're not hungry anymore. So that's the body being hungry. And you got to do that, right? It's when you need it, you need it. Now, the other reason, obviously, is that you want it, right? You want to eat. I mean, anything that you eat beyond half full is just because you want to, because it's nice, it's tasting good, you want to keep having it. So the wanting to eat, I would call that your mind is hungry. So your body is hungry when you need it, and your mind is hungry when you want it. Why do we want it? To feel good, because it feels good. It feels good to eat. The pleasure of it. And also, there are other reason is that we're using it for emotional regulation or distraction. It is a chance to just take a beat and not worry about anything that's going on in the world, and just take some time and just enjoy a meal. And that's sometimes beyond your caloric needs, beyond what you need. Now it's just because I want it. Especially, if something's stressing you out at work, there's some situation in your relationship, or some other stresses in life, all the normal daily stresses. When it's being used, when food is being used, or anything, but in this case, food is being used for emotional regulation, it's not just that simple to say stop eating, just to stop putting the food in your mouth. I mean, in reality, that's what physically happens. You just stop putting the food in your mouth. But the reasons why you want to eat and the reasons why you do eat are not something you can just ignore. Or if you do ignore it, it builds up. You start feeling more and more of that frustration, or that that emotional pain. If you're just now not eating, and then you're not regulating your emotions, right? So this is really to manage and really all of the problem with weight comes from the category of wanting to eat as opposed to needing to eat. That's not something that you can just simply delete, so because what are you going to do? You're just going to sit with those emotions all day. You're just going to never regulate them. From here, you're either going to have to find another way to regulate your emotions, right? Or eliminate the thing that is causing you the emotional pain, right? Causing you the disturbance. So, it's really only one of those two things. You either have to replace the food with something else, or eliminate the pain. So, or the thing causing the pain. Fix your life, fix the situation. If the situation remains painful and difficult, then you're going to continue to need to regulate emotions. That's in some sense, I guess that's a need. But the food isn't the need. It's the emotional regulation that's a need. You do need that. It is serving a need, and that's why, because you need to regulate your emotions. That's why it feels necessary to eat. To do that, because you need that distraction, you need that regulation. So I think it's not as simple as just deleting that behavior, just stopping it. You're just going to stop eating, and then you're going to stop the emotional regulation, and then it builds up, and then it hits a point of frustration, and then you go, oh, screw this, and then you just have a bag of chips and lollies and or ice cream or whatever it is. Maybe it's not that. A lot of people, I'll say that, and then they'll say, oh, I don't really have that much junk food. I don't really have that, and it's like, well, that's fine, but they still eat other things, and they eat lots of good stuff, savory, or it doesn't matter if you're eating beyond half full, like I said, consistently, then you're overeating and you're putting on weight for sure, or definitely not losing it. So, really, that's what this comes down to. Really, when you break it down, how you lose weight is you have to address this eating just because you want to, eating as opposed to because you need to, and how are you going to replace that or fix the situation? It's really, this is not about managing food. It's about managing emotions. So that is what the project is. It's not. That's why you can have all the best diets in the world. You can have people talking about, eat this many carbs and this and that and whatever. And it's just, no one does it. Like, you do the plan for a little bit and then you stop doing it. It's like, this is not the actual thing that needs to be addressed. So, and that's why it just consistently fails. Learning how to do that, and then recognizing when you're just wanting to eat rather than you need to eat. And and then just because you're eating only when you need to, or mostly when you need to, it doesn't mean you're not enjoying the food. You're going to enjoy it, absolutely. And sometimes you go over, sometimes you come under, and you sort of balance out over time. But again, this is about managing your emotions, not the food so much. So when I say basically you just have to eat less, reduce the amount of food you eat to lose weight, what it means is you don't really have to change anything that you're eating. You just have to eat less. Think about everything you ate last week and just imagine that you got halfway through what it was and you just threw the rest out, right? Just a thought experiment, right? If you were to have seriously just done that, I guarantee you would have lost weight this week. If you literally just halved everything, like even if it was chocolate and ice cream and whatever, I told this to one of my clients and he did exactly that. He actually was just like, okay, that's simple enough. I'll give it a go. And he did it. And it was within 2 months, he lost over 10 kilos and he's kept that off, and just takes that principle, just literally whatever you're having, just reduce it. Like just doesn't matter, because he was having to go out to a lot of lunches with clients and he just couldn't change the content too much because it was so baked into his kind of work schedule, taking clients out to fancy restaurants and things like that. So he's not going to sit there just eating a salad or something. You don't have to do that. No, all you have to do is eat less. And again, this is about managing your emotions, managing yourself. It's not about managing the food. It's about saying, okay, being satisfied with just enough rather than too much. If you're going beyond that, you've just gone into that territory of wanting to eat, eating what you want rather than what you need and should have. I mean, there's no context in life where you can just have whatever you want all the time. If you don't walk into a shop and then just buy whatever you want, there are limits to our desires, or there just has to be. And so same goes for food. So if that resonated with you and you think you've got a personal story about what type of foods, what type of situations that you also saw yourself in what we were talking about here, put it down below and I'd love to see your stories and follow along. Click this video, the algorithm thinks you'll probably like, and I'll see you next time.